witness the birth of a new story, the rise of heroes and the trials of darkness. The world lies upon the precipice of change. Will you stand or will you fall? Prepare yourself well, traveler, for fate is watching, and the stars are yours to claim.
Hello and welcome to RollWithoutTrace, and we are here with no streaming issues tonight because OBS has been sorted out. Welcome, one and all. I hope you have all had an absolutely wonderful week, and thank you for joining us here tonight. As usual, before we get started, just a couple of quick thanks to get through, but before we even do that, hello to the wonderful players that are playing. Was not thought through. Welcome. Hello.
Hey.
Hello
there.
Captain Kenobi. General Kenobi?
Ken Benobi.
Yeah, I can Kenobi, yeah. Anyway, our thanks. The absolutely amazing art and animation you see all over this channel. A very, very big thank you to our very own Stash, who is the fastest on all socials and so on and so forth. And then music over the beautiful little character intros, or not character intros anymore, we don't do that. Over the starting credits, I don't quite know what we're going to call it. The character intros, I suppose it technically is. But over that, and over the little dice roll animation we'll see shortly, a very big thank you to OSAV Media, and of course the music playing right now and throughout the rest of the episode in the background. A very big thank you to Travis Savoy, RPG music maker on all platforms. Links to everybody's socials and such can be found down in the doobly-doo down below. Go click on them, go follow people, go subscribe, go do whatever it is on whatever platforms they have. Go show these people love because they are absolutely incredible artists and they have helped to contribute to make this channel better than it is. So, last week, our players had woken up from their first night spent in their new home, sleeping under the stars. Awaking to find the princess has stepped away for the night, gone to do whatever it is princesses do in the night. Beginning their discussions and day with the most perfect cup of coffee from Dasan's flask, followed by the even more perfect cup of coffee brewed by Visilva. The kind of coffee that had Dasan questioning whether it would give him more chest hair, and one that would leave a spoon standing upright. Whilst having their discussions, the princess returned and informed the party that there had been a murder. The reason she felt it relevant to bring up, it was one of her family members. A distant family member, but family member nonetheless. One of the High Lords, I guess, not really High Lord, but one of the, still somewhat notable member, a drow by the name of Zaurin. The only things found were a dagger with the horn of a unicorn as its little kilt, and a little note, which alluded to a coal that now has the party questioning whether it is the coal they all know or not, as well as basically saying to find whoever left this note where the foxes are, and somebody will die every day until this meeting is had. Upon closer inspection, a little bit of unicorn hair was found on the note. Heading over to the site, to the murder scene, to see if they could see anything else, with Princess Shalray taking the form of a cat and taking a ride on Visilva's shoulder. The party arrived, and with Visilva and Shalray having a look around, not seeing anything more that could be useful. Whilst that was happening, the remaining 3 members of the party were discussing their conspiracy theories as to whether they can trust the princess, whether the princess is a spy, whether the princess had disguised herself and committed this very murder. Managing to eventually convince the princess to return home to ease suspicion mainly on the party. The princess, still in her cat shape, agreed and left. The session came to a close with our party going off and investigating the 7 inns listed on the little pamphlet given to them for where they could stay while they get their house kind of started. And it is, with the party deciding which of the inns to visit that we start tonight's session. But first, and we are back. And
Can you hear me now?
yes, we can hear you now. Good time.
Hello.
Hello and welcome. So, what would you guys like to do?
We see any unicorns? Missing a horn and some hay. So basically,
I mean, we
an almost bald white horse.
Yeah.
said that we would go and frequent some of the inns and, find one that we like and would like to spend the evening at. There's one on this list that's really piquing my interest, but there's a few others that I think we can also get some good use out of, even if we just go and see what they're like before we go to this last one. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I agree. There was one on there that sounded hella dodgy. The
Maybe
painted
not so much.
jackal.
You got something against jackals?
Have you seen them in the wild? They are terrible creatures.
I must say I'm quite liking the idea of the Cinders and Sage, the one that is known for the bathhouse.
Oh, I can get behind that.
We have some time. I mean, whether we stay at the inn or not, we just use the facilities. We can get a good feeling for what they're like. Majority of them, I mean, this pamphlet's pretty in-depth. It tells us more or less what we need to know. But I would also like to go and check out a few of them at least, see what they're like, and then possibly end off the day with the fox and fig. There's something about it. And yes, it might be because it has fox in the name and there's been a lot of foxy things happening lately, but wouldn't be bad to check it out, I don't think.
Oh, I'm so glad you noticed that I changed my hair.
I thought you just didn't brush it this morning.
Wow. I thought it was foxy.
Don't worry, Shadow, you're always looking gorgeous as ever.
I don't know whether to believe you or not.
Perhaps your charm is rubbing off on me and I'm learning. Or perhaps I'm playing with fire.
This both excites me and is potentially a lot of irritation. I'm conflicted.
Altari just doesn't know what to say. She's just looking at her like, okay.
What are you afflicted with?
Whether Altari's new attitude, which is very close to my sense of humor, is going to be cute for long enough for me to not find it vexing.
Oh, no, sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you had some affliction. Just worried whether we could catch it or not. I realize now I was mistaken.
Oh, don't worry, my gorgeousness is not contagious.
It's getting awkward.
Wow, y'all really forgot to put in your sense of humor this morning. Maybe take another swig of that amazing coffee.
I don't think that's gonna help me. Got murder on the mind. Someone I spoke to yesterday just died.
I mean, did you
It's
know
okay.
them?
No, but I mean, come on. If you're investigating a murder, surely, I mean, you've done it before. You know, you speak to anyone who the person was in contact with in the last couple of hours.
Yes.
Just surprised no one's shown up to look for the big Tortor that spoke to the drow hours before he died, who happened to be new in town.
Maybe they do things differently here.
Yeah, maybe. At least I don't have anything to hide.
Well, that's a good thing, at least, is it not?
It is. It might just be awkward having a bath, guards walk in.
I mean, probably, but we've been in worse situations. And like you said, you've got nothing to hide. I just don't think that it's inherently our job to investigate this murder. Don't get me wrong, I do think that we should ways, but we have our own way of doing things, and I'm sure the city guard have their own way of doing things. And quite frankly, we don't really have a lot of the information either, and there's a lot of things that we're also focusing on over and above this murder. And based on that note, I don't think it's going to be the last one unless we can circumvent the murder and find those behind it before any more bodies stop dropping.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say we need to be private investigators. Let's save the day. Does kind of sound cool, but if we can at least in some way prevent more innocent people dying, I would be very much happy to be on that bracket of people in the city.
I'm on the same page with you there, big guy. We don't want any more innocent people to die unnecessarily, or in whichever way. I just don't want to go looking for further trouble either in a city I'm unfamiliar with.
I mean, we might not even have to look very hard. Inn's always a good place for gossip.
Well, that's why I suggest we go and have a look at a couple of them. See what we can find. At the same time, we can see where we want to stay for this evening and the next several weeks until the keep is ready, or at least serviceable. And do our own snooping while we're at it. If luck finds us, perhaps we will even find the right inn that has all the information we're looking for.
Well, we're a pretty small group. I don't think I'm comfortable splitting up. So I think let's hit the list that you've got. Like you said, scout them all out. Better than just going to one.
I definitely want to go relax in the bathhouse to start with.
I can get behind that.
How does Frank feel about water?
Frank's fine with water.
Let's hope they're pet friendly at least.
Yeah. I've been told to stay outside a couple of times.
They won't let Moon and Lady Marshmallow in. They can't let the sun in.
I will stand behind you. Yes.
You've still got that item that makes you smaller, right? So it's not like your size will be much of a problem.
Yeah, size normally isn't the problem. It's just, sometimes I'm hard to explain.
Do you often find that with people in big cities like this, that they just don't understand you?
Not in big cities like this. You get to more remote places and it's the oohs and the ahs.
Yeah, that very rural way of thinking. People have their own traditions in mind, and anything that's different is rejected because we don't know it, we don't like it. I'm assuming we're walking towards the Cinders and Sage, which is the one with the bathhouse. According to my little tour guide pamphlet.
Yes, you are correct.
I'm also hoping that if these pamphlets, this is sort of like a nudge, nudge, wink, wink DM, that if it's, little pamphlets that tell you all the all the little places that they have like those little mini maps where it tells you, oh, it's there on the map, but it doesn't give you like too much detail. But there's, that one little image, that little square.
Oh no, this pamphlet was literally the like a brochure that's like 90% of it is telling you get to stay at this place for 2 weeks for free type deal, and then at the bottom is just the names.
Ah, okay.
It's
well,
more
I
of
guess you're gonna have to ask.
a flyer, or not a flyer. It's more of a pamphlet for the discounted stay or the free stay
I see.
than a city guide, if that makes sense.
It's a coupon.
It's a coupon. Thank you. That's the fucking word I was looking for.
Okay, well, Cinders and Sage, did anybody see any signs? Does anybody want to speak to anyone? Dasan, you're great at speaking to people. Maybe you should ask.
I look around, improv, like the closest thing that to me looks like a dude handing out newspapers. I don't care what it's for. It could be shops or whatever. I do not care. I'm looking for one of those.
Give me a perception check.
Woohoo! First roll of the night.
Ooh.
24.
Yeah, as you're walking around, you keeping your eye out, and you see a young little kid, dressed quite neatly, nice little cap on, standing around. I see a bunch of like papers tucked in under his arm, got a sling bag over his shoulder, and you can see he's going to the major doors, like where the shops are, and you watch as he knocks, door opens, and he just hands a paper, watch him take some coin and shove it in his pocket, and he's basically doing his route.
I step toward him, look down at the little one. Excuse me,
He like
moment of your time, please.
jerks a bit, like, having not really seen you, kind of, he's kind of autopiloting his route, so he kind of like, and he like looks and he sees your legs, and he slowly looks up and he sees eyes just getting wider and wider the higher he starts. And he's like, "You're a big one, mister. You want a paper?"
I am indeed. I'd love a paper and maybe some advice if you're willing to share.
All right.
We got this list of inns that we kind of want to check out, and I'm looking for Altari for the list. Can you maybe point us in the general direction of them? We're new to town and really not sure what's where.
Which one you want to go to?
Well, the girls want to take a bath, so they were thinking the Cinders and Sage. Start off there.
Oh,
and
nice
then
place,
just go.
that is.
Yeah, and from there, I don't know, maybe like a pub crawl.
Oh, I can direct you to Cinders and Sage.
That would be mighty useful.
He smirks a bit and like pulls a paper out from under his arm. You want a paper?
I'll gladly take a paper.
It's 2 silver, good sir.
Give me a second, I'll pat around a bit. I'll find my monies. I'll give him 2 silver. That's, I don't have silvers. You got change for a gold piece?
Yeah, no worries. Takes your gold and he shoves it in his pocket. He's like, velcros it, unvelcros one of the other ones, digs around.
Runs away.
Counts out a couple of silver, and will hand it back to you.
And what am I looking at? Is it like the town newspaper or something?
It's the town's newspaper, yeah. It's
We'll get
quite a
into that
thick
later.
one. Like a good sized newspaper. It's not some thin 2-page brochure thing. It's a proper bulky.
Yeah.
This is a OO
Perfect for
newspaper.
snuffing flies.
Yeah, I like it. DM's gonna give us the deets.
So he hands you that. Yeah, you want to go Cinders inside? You gonna walk up main road. You're gonna walk for. I don't know how fast you walk. If you're a fast walker, it's about 5 minutes. But you'll know you were there when you're at the big crossroad. And if you don't know which one the big crossroad is, you're not at it yet. When you get to it, you're gonna pop a right. You're gonna walk about 2-3 blocks, and you'll see Cinder and Sage on the corner. Can't miss it.
Up the main road, get to the big crossroad, turn right, 2 to 3 blocks, Cinders and Sage.
Yeah,
Got it. Just, is it 2 blocks or 3 blocks?
I can't remember.
It's the block where we'll see Cinder and Sage.
You really can't miss it. You can't miss it. I promise you that.
Well, thank you very much for your help. One last thing. Is there a place where we can get like a tourist's hand guide to the city if we want to get around places quicker and easier so that we don't have to stop, working gentlemen like yourself every time to get directions?
Of course, you can ask Thalor over at Cinder and Sage. Most innkeepers keep something like that.
Oh, thank you very much for all the assistance, little man.
Yeah, no worries. He kind of leans past you and he looks at the group. Your friends want a paper too?
You guys want a paper?
No, I think we can share, thanks.
I'll just nod. No, thank you.
He kind of is bouncing in place and he nods like, okay, you're us. And he just turns around, casually goes back to his route.
I will then start taking the journey as he explained.
As you're...
I suppose I'll follow. I suppose the rest of us go and follow,
Sure.
having heard all of it.
As you continue walking up the main road, about 5 minutes later, you come to a massive crossroad, and the main road that you're on continues running, but the road that intersects it, running perpendicular to it, is easily 5 times the width of this main road that you're on. It is quite literally a large crossroad.
But is it the big crossroad?
Yes, this is the big one.
Okay. In case there was a bigger one.
Pretty big to me.
You see, in the center of it is a little circular sect, maybe a couple meters in diameter, where there's a bunch of markets and just little stalls, little tents, little cloth roofed places, pop-up shops, if you will. You see quite a few people making their way. Some just walk around, obviously not needing anything, but quite a few others go up. See, they seem to be selling different foods or drinks. The kind of grab and go things.
And is there anything else landmarks wise standing out from this crossroads? I mean, there has to be something spectacular to make this such a scene.
The size of the crossroad is what makes this the scene.
Okay.
If you're standing and you look left and right, you see a couple blocks in either direction, the road narrows back down to the regular width. So it's kind of like this is one section that was built significantly bigger for whatever reason. So that this is literally the landmark. It's not, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Um. You guys, does this? I mean, it's big.
I'm pretty sure this is the crossroads. If it's
Yeah,
not,
no.
we'll find our way around again. That's all.
But why is it so big, though? I mean, even by my standards, this is huge.
So you should fit right in then.
What if they're hiding something in plain sight?
Very possible.
Well, that's a question for another day. We keep walking. We turn right. You want to follow, or you want to stay?
Oh, we're most definitely following. Or at least I am.
Y'all just want hot water on your skins.
Yes. Yes.
Some nice herbs and oils. Oh, it's very relaxing.
Be
You
nice to be clean again.
Maybe we can plait your hair.
I would say no.
Okay. You take your right turn, and 2 blocks later, you see instead of basically the rows and rows of shop fronts that you can see, you see a bit of a garden, maybe about 10 feet. Okay, sorry, let me start this again. You see that there's like a little picket fence styled fence, which leads into a garden that's then goes about 10 feet before getting to the front of a building. The garden has a very herbaceous smell. As you look into the very humble little 2-story building, you see a large bit of sleeperwood hung above the door, and carved into that the words "Cinders and Sage."
Oh, that wasn't that hard to find. Is there a door to knock on, or is there like a standard opening, like foyer area? I'd like to go up and inquire.
What is
Please.
everybody's passive perceptions?
20.
19.
Okay. Shadow?
We're still checking. Why is my computer frozen now?
Sorry, Shadow, you said?
15 for
15.
Shadow.
All right. Then we'll just wait on
13.
13. Okay, so other than Visilva, the other three of you notice as you're walking in, about 5 by 5 centimeters. Obviously not exactly, but that's if you had to say this is the piece you have to cut out to get it. In the top right mantle, a little fox's face carved into the wood.
I'll just lean over to Shadow. Do you see that? And just sort of nod with my eyebrows.
I do see it, yes.
All right. Entering the inn, you see this very open planned, almost reception area. Beautiful wood furnitures, all carved in this very simplistic style. But it's that simplistic that takes a master craftsman to get right, to make it look good without looking simple. There's an art to the simplicity of this. Hanging from the roof in different places, little pot plants hanging at various heights. All of them with, well, the higher ones rather, with plants that kind of hang over the edge and just almost like a waterfall make their way down into the room. Quite a few of them maybe would be in your way, but it's the design of the place. The lights that hang seem to be almost suspended magically. Little mini chandeliers, maybe the size of a dinner plate in its diameter, with little tea candles floating around the side. A very subtle smell of apples and sage, with just a little bit of nutmeg, cinnamon, kind of spicy, just floating through the air. You see behind the, what we can call the reception counter, a elven figure with their back towards you. Seems to be going on about their business.
That will just clear her throat.
I see as they turn around as an elderly-looking elf. Their white hair maybe not as white as it first looked, now looking maybe a little more grey when you see the face. Whether that's just a mental trick or not. Quite a wrinkled face. Little square framed glasses. See as the gentleman turns around. My sincere apologies. Welcome to Citizen Sage. My name is Thorlor. How may I be of assistance?
We are interested in your bathhouse service.
Of course. We have a few different packages. Would you like the ones that come with the room, or are you interested in just the bath?
Sorry, you cut out. What was the first one?
He was asking if you would like the ones that come with a room or just the bath.
Shadow will look to the party. Are we staying for the night or just passing through?
Is this the place we've chosen?
I like the convenience of the baths being close by. And something tells me there's a lot we can learn about this place. But I also don't want to choose the first place we visit as the place we stick for the evening. So we can always come back if we want to stay the night. But maybe for now we just go with the bath service. See what else is out there. What do you guys think?
Shadow will turn back to the elderly gentleman. Just the baths, please.
No problem. How many would you care for?
Do you include pets or not?
Well, the pets would share with their owner, I would assume. We are
Then
not opposed to having pets, but and you see, like, he scratches his head a little confused. I'm not sure how they'd bath themselves, so we'll just chalk them up to bathing with whoever will be doing the bathing for them.
And do you cater for larger folk as well?
He looks at Dasan. Have you used your little schlupsy to drop a size?
Not yet.
We don't have one that's necessarily that big, but we could try and see what we could do, but I'm not sure if we have one suited for his build. If Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure if we can assist with that. If it was maybe a little smaller or a little less vertical and horizontal, we might have been able to assist.
And you don't have an outside shower?
You see, like he almost looks a little bit like offended by it. So this is a place of rest and relaxation. We do not cater to the wild whims of outside showers.
That's how the new kids do it.
Dasan, darling, please just drop a size.
You want to see a trick? And I go, whoop, and I'm smaller.
Oh, that is
How about now?
definitely a first. I think one of our large baths should be able to suffice.
Think help
Great,
me
so
in.
4 people and 3 pets?
All right. What pets are they? I don't need specific breeds, just general species.
Shadow
A
will
llama.
Visilva.
Altari's just sort of like thinking of it in her mind.
So what did Shadow say? I didn't quite catch that.
She looked at you to explain what pets you have.
I think just Moon will want to bark because I don't think Lady Marshmallow would be keen, and Frank kind of looks human enough. He's fine. It's not a pet.
Would Frank classify as a person or a pet? And I don't know if Frank has ever had a bath. Maybe he could do with one.
I think Frank a person.
Okay, sorry. Make that 5 people and 1 pet that would want a bath. The other one will just sit next to us.
The pet is Wolven.
Yes.
Yes, he writes things down in his little book. All right, for 5 baths with 1 taking account for pet, it's going to be 2 gold and 5 silver.
Each?
Total. If you'd like,
Oh,
just bear in mind that's for your basics, that's your bath and general soaps. Each room is scented, that is part of the costs. But if you want any of the fancier soaps and salts and such, that will cost a little bit more. But 2 gold and 5 silver for the lot of you for the basics.
Okay. How much or what can I get for 3 gold pieces?
Just for yourself or for the entire group?
For the whole group.
So for 5 extra silver, we can throw in a bath bomb each. You can take your pick of which one you'd like. And we can, yeah, why not? We can heat your towels for you. We'll keep them warm. When you are ready, you can just ring the bell and your towel will be brought to you nice and hot.
And Shadow will give him 3 gold pieces.
Takes it and plumps in his money tin. Right, thank you kindly. If you don't mind, just uses his pen to point to like where there's a whole bunch of seats. There's some little like sofas, lounges, these very spa type looking, relaxing, soft, poofy chairs. As he points over to it with his pen. If you don't mind, just having a seat there while we get your bath ready. It should take about 5, maybe 10 minutes.
Thank you, darling.
Give me 1 second. Okay, apparently the mic was doing the thing, so I am disconnected and I've returned.
Can hear you fine again.
Right. Anything else?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
Right, is there a time limit on this bath?
You have the bath for an hour.
Plenty of time.
Oh, he looks at you and he then like kind of pauses on Visilva. Do you drink alcohol, young one? I can't tell how your age. Are you allowed to drink alcohol?
Yeah, I don't think you like it, so no, thank you.
Because we offer a complimentary glass of bubbly wine. What would you like as a replacement? We could do juices or.
Juice, please, but with no bubbles if possible. I don't like my juice fighting back.
You and I are very much the same, but people seem to like it. They personally think they have a screw loose, but juice are the rest of you all right with the sparkling, with the bubbly wine?
I'll take the juice too, please.
I will take bubbles, please.
I will have bubbles as well, please, my good sir.
No problem. He just like very quickly just writes down on his little pad. Please have a seat. I'll be back. You see he disappears off, and you just hear some muffled talking. And a minute or so later, he returns back to the desk, obviously having now passed the instruction on to whoever is going to take over the drawing of the dots.
Is this a lengthy process? Do we have time to snoop around?
I mean, you're kind of like in the foyer area, so going further would require going through the door, so you can snoop around the foyer. You've got about 10 minutes.
Do we see anything foxy other than the original foxy? Is there a blonde girl outside following us, maybe?
Give me a perception check.
27.
Ooh. You don't see anything else foxy, but what you do see is a blonde figure walking towards the door. You see it kind of through one of the windows. You just momentarily catch a glimpse of the hair, but the figure looks quite a bit taller than the hooded figure you saw. But you see the door opens. Innkeeper Thalor looks up and he sees whoever's walked in, and he just gives him a very courteous nod before turning away and walking through the back door. Well, not through the back door, but through the little doorway he'd previously disappeared. And with your 27, I'll say you even hear as he walks through and the door closes, you hear an extra little latch as the door locks behind him. You see stepping in a tall, maybe not by Dasan standards, but 7'2", something along those lines, human, walks in. Got this long leather trench coat on, blonde hair swooping over to the side. Stands and he kind of looks to where the old elf disappeared to the back. Before he turns to look at you, not you specifically, but the party. He smiles. It's like this very bright smile. As he's walking towards you, he pulls his sunglasses off, hangs them on the very open shirt that he's wearing. Well then, I think it's about time we have a chat.
Excuse me? Do we know you?
Oh, you don't know me, but I know you. Please, sit down. Got some things you definitely want to hear.
I prefer standing, thanks. Hooves and all.
He kind of shrugs and like literally just like flops himself down into one of the poofy chairs. Oh, sit yourself. And as he does that, you see, and the rest of you, the other three of you, can give me a perception check as well if you'd like. Just before I go on with what you see.
18.
That's a 1. So that counts up to 7.
Is
Silver got
Shadow...
an 8.
What was an 8 total or an 8 on the dice?
Total.
Okay.
The silver's apparently quite sleepy.
Alright, so as the guy kind of flops down, the silver not really paying attention, being a little tired, Shadow maybe a little taken back at the dude's attire, maybe reminding her of her pirate captain days. But Dasan and Altari, you both notice the pendant that he is wearing that just briefly like swings from one side. You know, like when a pendant's under your shirt and it just like swings from one side to the other. So you see it kind of briefly as it passes through the gap. And it is very distinctly the pendant of the Van Haven Song family.
I know this family.
Don't think so.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay,
remember.
Dasan, you wouldn't know the connection, but you would very distinctly see the symbol. You do know what it is, though, right?
No, I only saw the symbol on the letter that Shadow had.
It's
but...
that same symbol. The two handguns kind of back to back to form
With the dagger.
the T with the dagger forming the rest of the cross.
Yeah,
I know
I have
exactly
no
what
idea who
that
they
symbol
are.
is.
Now, Altari,
I'm
you'll
sorry,
know
notices it, but
exactly what it is. Dasan will
I would make
recognize
any
it as the symbol from the letter, but you won't know necessarily who these people are.
Okay.
And he says he's kind of sitting, lounging in the chair. Oh then, the name's Wax Dylan, but you can call me Wax. Now, you're probably wondering, oh, what am I doing here? Why do I want to talk to you? Well, we got a preposition for you. See, we kind
preposition or proposition?
Who are you, my English teacher?
I'm sorry, I'm just... Please continue.
I have an offer for you.
That.
All right, an offer, preposition, proposition, whatever you want to call it. Same shit. We have somebody who knows you. I'm not sure if you've ever encountered him. Does the name Targus mean anything to either of you? Or any of you? Not either of you. That was DM slip up. Does the name Targus mean anything to any of you? If not, it's okay. Just curiosity.
Does it mean anything to any of us?
It sounds familiar.
This is just to answer your question, Visilva. It was the name of the captain that came to try and take Forlan away.
The silver will have forgotten that, so no.
Altari remembers, but she's not giving anything away. She's playing aloof. Playing the fake games.
I don't know that guy's name.
Yeah, all right. Oh, it's like I said, not important. Doesn't matter. Anyway, he used to run with an ex-acquaintance of yours. So we kind of know a little bit about you specifically. And he looks at Dasan. I don't know you though. You're new. we'll circle back to you. But specifically, he looks at Shadow. You, madam, you are the reason I'm here. My offer is entirely based on convincing you. We have.
Well, considering your outfit, you're halfway there.
You see, he gets like a. He's taken aback by that a little bit, and he smiles, like almost like this flat, like, huh. He shakes himself out of it. Well, he is like a little embarrassed chuckle. You can see like this kind of took him a bit. He's like, all right, anyway, focus, wax, focus. All right.
Yeah, it's one pretty girl, pretty good.
What we have is a little bit of a pest problem, if you would. And given your history, from what we know from your friend, as well as what we have seen from the little bit of watchings we've done, we know you're quite capable and quite talented of taking out pests. We got one teensy little task. Okay, no, that's a lie. We got 5 teensy little tasks, which is one umbrella task, if you would. That if you are willing to aid us, we will aid you in reacquiring your ship. We can get you the obsidian.
Okay, now you've got my attention a little bit more.
I
What
thought
would
so.
these tasks be, and what are the names of these pests?
Right, straight to the point. So, disclaimer, we are not currently in possession of obsidian, but we know exactly where it is, and we can quite easily get our hands on it, which we'll happily do all the dirty work for you. Now, tasks for you. Okay, maybe an introduction. I'm not by blood, but I am part of the Van Haven Song family. Now, we are a family that prides ourselves in hunting down and exterminating vampires. And we got a little bit of a problem because some Billwad a couple years ago decided it would be a good idea to sign some goddamn treaty that we cannot kill them and they cannot attack us. I think it's absolute bullshit, but nevertheless, if you were to do it on our behalf without saying you're doing it on our behalf, but if now a bunch of random people had to just take out the main 5 members of the Markovian family, the Markovians are the vampires, by the way, I'll explain that later. If a bunch of you were to take out the 5 key figures, the 5 keystones of the Markovian family, well, then technically we wouldn't be breaking our treaty, and we could then come in and kill the rest of them because the ones who hold the treaty would be dead.
Okay. Now, what kind of insurance or proof do I have that you actually do know where the obsidian is and that it is actually the obsidian? Because I will be honest, I have gotten similar requests in the past, and all of them led me to a dead strip of sand with no ship.
Right, I hear you. Very valid question. Problem, I can't answer it. Not because I don't want to, but because I physically cannot. I don't have tangible evidence to give you, other than my word, but I guess I can say I promise, and I really mean it.
Darling, you are extremely cute, but if your information is as good as I think it might be, then you would know that this will not satisfy or pique my interest to take the request at all.
You see kind of like this disappointed look on his face. I must say I'm a little disappointed in you, Shadow. Didn't even put up a little bit of a fuss. Didn't even try and... Oh, I'm sure you got something. Because of course we don't, like I say, we don't have the obsidian, but he pulls out of his back pocket a little like black book. He just like tosses it onto one of the coffee tables. Captain's log, found in the quarter. You can look at it and you can tell me if that's actually yours.
Shadow will take the book and read it. Is it her log?
It's one of your logs, yes.
She'll close it and like briefly like she looks like she's kissing it, but she's actually just smelling it.
Mm-hmm.
Well now, your negotiation skills lack some refinement.
Yeah, not my strong suit. Don't know why they sent me, but anyway, here I am.
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say it's your pretty face.
You see, like he now actively starts blushing. Maybe, I don't know, but sure.
Okay, there are some logistics. Is there a potential that you could organize an arrangement with your core members, just so we can strike up a proper deal?
Yeah, of course. Could set that up. Give me a day. But yeah, could do that.
And what are the chances of you getting us into the underworld? As a favor, of course.
The Underdark?
Oh, Underdark, sorry.
You see, like when Shadow says underworld, his eyes just widen, like what the fuck? And then Altari's correction. Oh, all right, Underdark. That makes a lot more sense. Well, we could get you in, but I'll get you in after you have that little chat with the bosses. I'm gonna get you in to speak to Ceres. She's head honcho. You'll speak to her. When you're done, you'll naturally need to go under to the Underdark, because that is where the Markovians do have their headquarters, whatever you want to call it, their sectors. So yeah, we could get you in, no problem.
Well then, I do believe we have a meeting that needs to be set up, and then we can discuss semantics after that and anything else.
Yeah, well, that sounds absolutely wonderful. He stands up. Don't worry about finding me. We'll find you when we are ready to set it up. Thank you for your cooperation. He looks towards the other three of you. Thank you kindly for your time. Now, I'm gonna go. Y'all enjoy your bath, and
Before you leave, though, darling,
yes,
please do stop dropping bodies around town. That's a very calling card.
you can see he gives you a very puzzled look. I don't know what you're talking about.
Shadow will take out the letter and just like briefly show him like the sigil and everything. Not give him the letter, just show him the letter.
All right. Now,
Friend,
that is very peculiar. That is definitely our logo, our little symbol, but okay, firstly, that is definitely not mine. My handwriting is nowhere near that nice. If I had to write a note like that, I can guarantee you would never have read a single word it says. I've been told my handwriting looks more like glyphs than actual writing. That aside, as far as I know, there's been no... okay, hold on. Before I say that, might I ask who was murdered? or even if you don't know names, I don't care about names. Species.
A drow gentleman.
All right, yeah, you see, no drows were authorized for death over the last couple of weeks. I think the last one was 2 months ago, something like that. Most recent hit that we were tasked with was a gnome. So whoever did this is either trying to make it look like it was us, which I don't think it is, because that sigil is a perfect little stamp, which looks like the stamps we issue. So whoever did this has gone rogue, but I can tell you now that was not me. Might ask one more question: how were they killed?
You're new to this, aren't you?
New to what?
Investigating, information, acquiring, acquisition,
Is it that obvious?
general negotiations. I find it rather endearing, actually, but a little word of advice. You talk a lot, and you seem like a really sweet guy, but you really do give away, you spill your secrets.
Altari, don't scare the puppy.
I mean, no offense, good sir, but I do recommend caution with your words.
All right, noted. If that is all, then
Your information has been useful, though.
you,
Only gnomes, you say?
yes. But I think it's probably best if I go.
Let me guess.
Mhm.
No, it's okay. Our paths will cross again. I will torment you a bit more next time we see each other.
Right. He sticks his hands in his pants pockets. You see, kind of just like peeking out from under the leather trench coat, the handles of what I think Shadow would be the only one to really recognize it quite easily. But the handles of what looks to be two handguns. Right. Till next time. He just turns around and he walks through. He opens the door. Hiya, Thor. You can come out. I'm done. Thank you. He closes the door behind him.
Bye, puppy.
Literally a moment later, you hear the door unlock. The older elf comes out and looks at you. Your baths will be ready in 2 more minutes. They're nearly done. And then he just goes on with his work as if nothing has happened.
Is that a regular thing for the Van Haven songs to just get people to drop their business?
I don't know what you are talking about. I had business to
Just
attend to
lock
at the back.
yourself, baby. You just lock yourself behind 2 locks?
I had business to attend to at the back. I was dealing with business.
I'm trying to think
Sorry.
how to approach this guy.
Shadow?
Minute.
Sure.
You don't maybe remember if the Markovians gave us a way to get into contact with them, did you?
I'm not entirely sure if there was one in... I can't remember off the top of my head. I think Forlan might have had that information. He was the one doing most of the talk.
Who?
Ooh.
Oh. This is awkward.
Wait, does she not even remember Fallen at all, or does she just forget the feeling she had there?
Most of her memories are gone.
Oh boy.
If he had a way to contact them, I am not aware of it. However, if they are running with the foxes, we might have a way to meet with the foxes.
Because this is becoming a conflict of interest.
And it's becoming very convoluted, and it smells a little bit desperate to me because both parties seem to be throwing themselves at your feet. And while I don't doubt your capabilities, I'm really worried about their intentions and why they're so eager to vie for your attention so desperately and so openly.
Well, I was quite notorious back in my heydays and was known for getting a lot of jobs done flawlessly, of course.
I find them very brazen. If your reputation is as grand as you say, they're very bold to approach you the way that they do.
True.
He
Or maybe
mentioned the
they-
name Targus, though. Does that have meaning to you?
I know it's the guy we fought, and I think I have history with him, but yeah, it's fuzzy, you know. I used to meet a lot of people quite frequently, so it wasn't that much of a deal for me to remember names.
Well, I'll tell you this, he seemed to remember you. I don't know how much of that fight you do remember, but he knew you. So whether you remember him or not, I'm pretty sure that our paths will cross again, and he was quite formidable. I think it's definitely something we should at least be cautious if that name pops up again.
Well, at least we can play them off of each other for a bit.
Do you trust him? Do you believe that he has access to your ship?
Shadow will show her the little book. This is not something that you just come by. This is a personal item that is left on a captain's ship.
Is it
And
not
it-
perhaps possible that someone might have acquired it through other means and they just got their hands on this item, on this book?
I mean, there's a possibility, but at least we get to know where they are, what their stronghold looks like, gather as much information, and then get in touch with the Markovians and ask them to sweeten the deal. Since they like kissing my ass, but I am the most probable scapegoat as well.
That's what I'm afraid of. Is you getting caught in their crossfire in their little turf wars.
Oh, that just makes the game a little bit more interesting, doesn't it?
Oh, it definitely does. But I do agree that we need to gain as much information as we can, as discreetly as possible, because there's a lot of threads in the story that are linking up a little bit too much for my liking. And I'm hoping that we can find the right one that ultimately ends in you getting what you want. No, I don't hope. I know we will.
It's just a matter of time.
And playing the game. I mean, these two families have been at war with each other for centuries. It's not likely they're going to end their little feud anytime soon if one wipes out the other. I'm pretty sure they've got alliances all over the place. It's a big thing to get involved in. So if we can get as much information as we can and keep our hands as clean as possible, I think that'll benefit us.
Well, we kind of have a problem since I cannot actually harm any of the Markovians.
Well, they can't harm you either. And as far as I remember, your little deal doesn't extend to the rest of us.
No, it doesn't.
So we have maybe a bit of an advantage here, where if you physically can't harm any of the Markovians, it doesn't mean we can't, but we can use that to play the Van Hels, what are they called? The Van Haven songs as well. See how well they play this game.
Oh, goody. I get to be the face of everything and do absolutely nothing. A smokescreen.
Oh, don't be like that. You'll be doing plenty.
Oh, no, darling, you completely misunderstood. I'm happy to be a smokescreen. Have you seen these hands? This does not happen overnight. But I am in love with those pistols he has. Oh. Okay, bath time. All of this scheming is getting my skin tense.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about here. But, Visilva,
Yeah.
Moon, Frank, is Frank joining us? Is Frank getting
Yeah,
a
I
bath
think
as
Frank
well, I
was
think?
going to keep
Yeah.
it clean.
A bath was bought for Frank.
I think it'll be very interesting to watch a zombie have a bath. What is he really? Is he a zombie or is he a skeleton at this point?
I think he's still a zombie as long as I keep maintaining the spell.
Hopefully
Fair.
he's not a skeleton after the bath and it turns into a soup.
Well, he'll be a nice clean one at least.
Gleeky.
Yeah. And he'll smell like ground again, whatever herbs he uses, but yes, bath. And then I would also like to find out about, well, see if I can question the, do I call them a keeper? The service provider we spoke to earlier, the elderly gentleman. I do not have much I want to speak to him about, but I'll find him afterwards.
Almost like
Wee.
being cued. Lauren arrives at the tray with the 2 glasses of bubbles and 2 glasses of juice. Puts it down. All right, your bath's are ready. It's terribly sorry to interrupt, firstly, but baths are ready. You are welcome to head on through whenever you'd like. You can help yourself to one of the bath bombs, and he opens a little wooden crate, and there's several different colored bath bombs in there. When you're ready, feel free to take one. Head through the door, and you'll be shown to your bath. He gives a nod, and he turns to walk back to his little workstation.
Is there a black bath bomb that looks like it resembles something like activated charcoal and squid ink?
There would be a black bath bomb, yes.
I'm taking that one. I'm not using it, but I'm taking it.
Preparing for a baptism prank.
Maybe.
All right. I will see you lovelies when we are done. Are they all private baths?
They would be private baths, yes.
Rooms. Okay.
Before you head off, Altari and Dasan, with your passive perceptions, you will see that the box is quite neat. It's got like a nice like silk lining at the bottom and on the inside of the lid. You can see that the side seems to be loose, and not wear and tear loose, but purposefully loose.
Like hidden compartment.
The side of what? Sorry, I missed that.
The bottom of the box has like a silk lining, and the one side is very clearly loose. So where, let's say, the back, the right, and the front are nicely stitched and glued on, the left is not.
What box?
The box that the bath bombs are in.
Oh, I heard you say get bored the first time. The side of the bath is loose. I was like trying to make sense of this. Like, what do you mean?
No,
Okay.
box, the side of the box.
Okay. Okay. If it's loose, can I try and like fiddle with it? Be like,
Yeah,
you could say you're hiding.
quite easily. You just kind of move the silk lining to the side, and you see a piece of parchment folded and tucked away there.
Can I look around to see if anyone's watching or paying attention or any like loose eyes?
The only person in the room currently is Vatsi's mom, and he's again got his back turned towards you, going on about his work.
Okay, he's not looking. I'm gonna
Bravo.
just keep my perception on him as well, but as inconspicuously as possible. I'd like to look at the little.
As you pull it out, I will send it in the WhatsApp group chat. But you read a handwritten note that says, "Blackbird forged in flame. Here you will find step 2 of this game." And then towards the bottom, just kind of randomly spaced out, the letters ESITC, and then what looks to be a little smiley face with 2 crosses for eyes. I have sent it in our chat so you can see it there and get it exactly.
I will fold it up, stick it in one of my pockets, and I will assess this more in private and also with the group after the baths.
Sure.
Hello? Sorry, everything went quiet. I got scared.
We are still here. I'm just trying to quickly size this to the thing so I can put it onto OBS so that the people who are watching can see it too. But anyway, you guys keep talking and doing what you need to do. I'm just quickly resizing this. Right, second. It is on screen for the people who are watching to see.
Did I see Altari fiddling with the box? Or did I pass before her?
I will leave that for Altari to decide how much. Who saw what?
I think as we're walking towards the rooms, I'll just sort of like catch Dasan. I won't show him the note, but I'll ask, did you also inspect the bath bombs? I'll put an inflection on the word inspect.
No, I saw it was a little dilapidated on the one side, but I was more interested in some shenanigans, and I'd show her my black bath bomb.
I think you'll find some shenanigans in the box as well.
I peek over her shoulder back at the box. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna go back now. It's gonna be suspicious.
Okay. I'll pass him the note. Also, as inconspicuously. If the others in the group see, that's fine, but I don't want anyone else, like the shopkeep or whatever, to notice anything either. I'm just sort of like trying to be sneaky.
It's a remake of the Now You See Me scene.
Jeez.
Yeets the card across the room.
I grab in my sleeves on the jacket that I am not wearing.
It goes in, but you do that, and it goes in between your fur and your skin.
Whoa.
Dasan gets goosebumps and all his fur stands up on end.
I look like a cat. Floofy.
The sun is the new Lady Marshmallow.
So I look at the note. I'm like, we need to discuss this. Why are all the words spelled with a capital? And I will just fold the note and give it back to Altari. You hold on to this.
Mm-hmm.
You found it. Founders keepers. We can chat after the path. We have a lot of catching up to do. Like, I hope vampires and stuffs, and I need to know what you guys are into.
We have a lot to talk about because we got to catch you up on everything. Everything that man said rang a bell.
True.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I don't know how much of what he said is true. I don't know how much we can trust him. But he did have information that rang with us that we've all come across at some point, or the three of us anyways. So yes, we do need to catch up on information.
Okay.
Even though I think you've probably forgotten half the stuff, and I'll run my hand through Visilva's hair.
I forget most things. It's a sad but true fact.
I don't think it's that sad. Perhaps it's a survival tactic.
I like that. I'm gonna go with that from now on.
Well, we can catch up later at one of the inns or wherever we decide to crash tonight around a table. Now I've got a couple of things I want to ponder while I'm in the tub. I'll see you guys afterwards, and I'm gonna make my way to the big bath for the big boys.
All right.
Frank will go also. Wait, so every single person gets their own bath?
Yes. You taking
Yeah,
Moon
okay.
with you, but Frank has his own
Moonlight,
important.
please, I'm just gonna give Frank instructions on how to bath.
He's just gonna sit and melt in the water.
Oh, they're gonna have fun
Brighter
cleaning up
than
after.
that.
Oh, that's fun.
Cool. Yeah. Bath time. Pop
But
and
DM,
ponder.
while I'm in my bath and I've got the I'm relaxing and I have time for quiet to think, I'm trying to recall if in the Feywild where I met these guys, when Targus actually came to murder Forlan, if his name was mentioned anywhere in that encounter.
I honestly can't remember if his name was mentioned.
It might have been. I think Forlan might have mentioned it.
So that if I recall the name, I know at least who we were talking about. I'd be like, oh, that was that guy.
We can say it probably would have been mentioned. I don't remember, but let's say yes.
Okay. Then that's all I'm pondering in the bath is like, oh, I figured it. Now I remember who Targus was. It was the guy that came to kill Forlan.
Like the light bulb just turned on.
Yeah, and that took me an hour.
Yeah. Is there anything anyone specifically wants to go through while having their baths or doing whatever? Or are we happy to have a skip the scene and things have happened?
Shadow would just like to try and remember all the terms and conditions of the Markovian contract, and if there was any other information that she might have forgotten,
Give me a history check.
There
Should
it
be good
is.
at this. Yippee! Okay, hang on. That is 23.
What you remember is basically them telling you that you're gonna kill the figureheads of the Van Havensong family, and you had signed that, or not signed, but you'd taken part in the little binding ritual, and that if you complete it, they'd give you your ship. It's pretty much almost a exact same offer that the Van Havensongs had given you. There's nothing else you do, however. Remember that they did say that when you get to Edelhunt, they will be able to give you more information.
Thank you.
I think Altari is just going to ponder this note that she found and try and figure out a way to scheme how to ask about the foxes and the blackbirds.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just enjoy the bath, enjoy the oils and the herbs and all that. Bath things.
Alrighty. Visilva? Visilva? I think Visilva is gone again. Oh, yeah, she's gone. And no, I still can't hear you.
Oh,
Ah, there you are.
Ah.
sorry. This one. What was the question? Tell me everything.
Is there anything specific you wanted to do during the bath scenes? Anything you wanted
Not
to...
specific. I'm just gonna bath Moon. Make sure it's clean. Turns from a grey wolf to a white wolf.
Give me an animal handling check.
I failed this, and it'd be so embarrassing.
I'll let you do it with advantage, considering the fact that he is your pet, not just some random.
Okay, I don't need advantage. That's a natural 20.
Jeez.
So
Nice.
for 26.
Yeah, Moon very obediently sits there like a good little doggo and lets you give him a bath. And he comes out a white wolf, as you have so pointed out.
I'm gonna look if I can find any like little things to make little bows on his ears. You know, like when dogs come from the groomer. Like either on it, or I don't know if his fur is long enough for his ears. There's just like one in the middle of his head, like a little pink bow.
You would definitely be able to find something around, maybe like on the basket where the soaps and stuff are. You can take the ribbon off of that.
Nice.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
In the bathrooms, are there any sort of how do I say this? Any like emblems of foxes or anything that seems fiddleworth that I could fiddle with?
Not gonna let you roll because there is nothing.
Okay. I think then I'm gonna finish my bath early, so before the hour is up,
Mm-hmm.
and then get dressed and all of that stuff, and then while I'm just sort of running my fingers through my hair, I'm gonna walk out to the elderly gentleman, the elven man, and just initiate a conversation, see if he notices me at all, or if I would have to then go up to him and speak, or if he's just so busy with his work.
I'd say
I'll just go back to the foyer.
When you come out, he'll look. Oh, I trust you had a good bath. Feeling better.
It was wonderful, thank you. I'm definitely feeling refreshed, and I would very much like to extend my my gratitude and my amazement at your establishment. It's incredible.
Thank you kindly. We pride ourselves on it, yeah. It's been in the family for generations.
You definitely do manage it quite well, and your treatment of your guests, my friends, of the utmost standard, and you must get a lot of strange folk passing through here.
Oh, we certainly do.
Pardon me for mentioning. I mean, the city is new to us, but I mean, I come from a city as well, much like this one actually, and every city has its shadows. You know, blackbirds in the skies, foxes in the streets, all sorts of interesting folk slipping through the cracks. It's not often to, well, it's nice to come across such a lovely establishment that caters to all shadows and light alike. Sort of trying to see if he picks up on anything.
He kind of just like nods along as you're speaking. It is a wonderful city that I call home. And I'm sure you'll find a lot of happiness here. Whether you forge your destiny in steel or stone, I guess that matters not. Only matters which way the crow flies at the end of the day. That determines your fate and your destiny.
Do you believe in fate or destiny? Or do you believe in following where the crow flies?
I believe in both. There's a time for destiny, there's a time for fate, but sometimes you have to toss it aside with reckless abandon and follow the crows. Wherever they may fly, so you can forge your destiny. I suppose it all links back to destiny at the end of the day.
Destiny is a game, isn't it? Do you play? Do you not? Are you playing with it?
Sorry, it's DM trying not to laugh at the fact that we're talking about Destiny being a game. Do I play it? I'm like, yes, I do play Destiny, actually. Oh, I don't... Well, I wish you luck in your travels, and if you do wish to spend the night, feel free to come back once you've had a little bit of a look around.
You are kind, thank you. One last thing. How do I ask this? Altari just kind of like standing there, figuring.
Try with your words,
yeah.
Young one. I find starting a sentence to be a good place to start.
I am going to say to him in Elvish, perhaps it would be easier to find the words in a more familiar tongue.
He responds in Elvish, anything that is easier for you.
I don't come across many elves on this side of the world, I suppose. Not really much of Elunéth that I've seen yet, but other than the drow, you're the first elf I've come across. I find it comforting, so forgive me for being awkward about it. I haven't seen an elf in months.
That is, you must have been in some strange places, but you will feel at home here. Other than the drow, the elven population is the second highest here in Ireland, so you should feel a little more at home.
That's kind of you to say. Anyways, I should not distract you from your work much longer.
Excuse me.
You have my gratitude for. Bless you.
Thank you.
You have our gratitude for your services, and I'll be off.
He gives you a little nod. Safe travels.
I just want to wander around. Are there like any gardens or like a balcony or courtyard or something I can just go and mong in?
There's the garden out front. The very herby smelling garden.
Okay, I'm just gonna go and chill there, wait for the others.
When everyone else is down there, Bob's being given a nice hot towel. Visilva, you go and check in on Frank, and you see he's sitting like very awkwardly in the bath. He's got the sponge resting on his head. You see soap suds still dripping down his
Aw.
face. Almost as
I
if he
explained to him how to bath. He's not that silly.
he
Bath.
he has cleaned himself, but then he wasn't sure where to go with the sponge, so he put it back on his head because it was the only place he could find that wasn't, the side of the bath where he put it and it kept falling over.
Okay,
Maybe he likes the feeling of the sponge on his bones.
Yeah, maybe that too.
Oh, now he's all clean. I'll explain to him how to get dry and everything.
I see he pats himself dry. And he says, Frank!
Yes, you are.
And he was like, he nods and there's almost
Frank.
like a little bit of a proud smile across his face as he looks at himself.
I'll give him some privacy to get dressed, and when he's dressed, I'll go and straighten his bow tie for him. Wait, did we put on teen clothes?
I would say that clothes being cleaned would be part of the price. So yes, they would have been.
Being clean.
It would be like a enter the room, throw your clothes in a bag, put it by the door. By the time you're done, they're back there in a little hamper, neatly folded for you.
Get prestidigitationed in some back room somewhere.
Yep.
Smells fresh. I'm going to keep a lookout for any crows in the sky, if there are any crows or ravens or any blackbirds or any sort of.
Now, like
If
when
there
the
is
guy
any-
is talking, doing secret
Yeah.
messages, you don't know.
Yeah, as I get out and I get back to the front office, I turn to the elf, the other elf, not our elf.
I was going to say not me, right?
So not the Altari, the Tholor.
Yeah, not our elf, the
Yes,
other elf.
Tholor.
Yes, Mr. Thalor. I ran into a paperboy earlier, and he said you might be able to assist us with, I don't know, call it a map or something that we can use to get around the city easier, or a brochure or a pamphlet.
I don't have maps, but I can certainly help you with what to do in Elunéth-styled brochure.
That will already be of a big help. And then I'm making this obvious, doing the whole look over my shoulders thing to see if anyone's around. I really don't care. I just want him to see that I'm doing it. And then I'm asking, are there any groups a person can join, for some after our activities?
It's personally not my cup of tea, but if you are looking for after our group activities, There is a swingers club not too far from here.
No. I think you misunderstand. Not the kind of group I'm looking for. Please, I'm already permanently surrounded by these girls. It's no. No.
What are you making it worse?
But
What are we?
I was thinking more like underground fight clubs. You know, you're normally not supposed to talk about those. Some I don't know, like guilds, if that makes more sense. Secret organizations.
I unfortunately can't be of much help there. Do I look like with all due respect, do I look like the kind of gentleman that would frequent such places?
I don't know if I'm gonna give shit away. So the little fox logo that we saw, was that before we entered or was it inside?
Before you entered, so as you're approaching the door on the top right part of the mantle.
So I'm gonna walk to like the door frame, just step outside, point to and be like, you tell me.
He looks at you. What about my door?
The fox. I need to know about the fox.
Oh, yes, I know of that fox. I don't know anything about the fox. I just know it is there.
Is this old man lying to me?
Give me an insight check.
10.
10.
I like really want to say this freaking dice is cocked, but I didn't take a screenshot because it showed 2 numbers.
He doesn't seem like he's lying or withholding any information. But then at the same time, you can't really be certain whether he's telling you the truth. He's very cool and calm, so if he is lying, he's doing a bang-up job of it. And if he's not, well, then it would make sense for him to be this cool, calm, and collected. He doesn't seem fazed by the fox, or he's just, you're struggling to get a read on him.
And there's no one else that I catch, someone who works for him or something that I can see in the vicinity who's giving anything away.
No, so far the only one you've seen that is inside here other than Wax, let's say the only person working at Sage & Cinders that you have seen is Salor.
Okay. Well, I appreciate all your treatments. It's been a while since I had a hot bath. That was really good. And thanks for the little guide. But if any of us get hurt, or innocent people get hurt, and it comes back to this thing, the Van Haven song is not going to be the people you need to worry about. And I will turn around and make my way outside and look for things in the garden. People want to check if there's a blonde girl following us.
As you turn to walk away and he turns to walk back in. You know, you're the 6th person to say these kinds of things to me. Quite ironic considering you yourself are only a 6. But never mind the ramblings of an old man. We've got a party of 6 coming in later. If you don't mind, I have business to attend to.
Have fun with that, and then poof, I'm my regular size again. Thank you. Being tiny Dasan is not fun.
So when Visilva is finished helping Frankus up, she's also gonna come out, and then can I also find this guy?
You'll find him like as he's walking back into the reception.
So be like, also like, look on my shoulders, be like, hey, can you help me?
Certainly. How may I help you?
I'm gonna do like a son, look around like, do you know where I can buy some dog food?
A majority of the larger general supply stores should stock, unless you're looking for the really premium products. For that, you'd have to go up to the second tier of the city, and you'd find the specialized pet shops. But if you're just looking for regular dog food, as I
Top
said,
notch stuff for Moon Moon.
or I'm assuming a Moon Moon is your dog.
What is a moon
Okay,
moon?
well, but yeah.
Um,
So second tier of the second tier of what?
second tier of the city, yes.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And then I'm just gonna skip out to find everyone else in the garden. I just
Okay.
thought we should all ask himself submissively.
Yeah. Shadow, you are the last one.
Shadow will just walk out and find everybody, just take in the scenery. Try and listen for gossip if she can on the way out.
When you walk out of
The bath.
there's you do not see anyone. Like literally, the only person that appears to be working here that you have at least seen is Stellor.
Okay, then she'll just walk out to the rest of the party out in the garden.
I don't like the vibes I got from that guy. He's hiding something.
I think this whole city is hiding something, because we got another piece of a puzzle. Not the puzzle, just a puzzle, and it's vexing me like you cannot possibly believe. And I'll pass the notes to Shadow. The blackbirds forged in flame.
The note is vexing you. Are you sure it's not vaxing you?
I'm pretty vexed about it too.
Think too hard and you'll be left groggy.
Oh, there's a lot of scams going on here. Stop it.
Oh, it's okay. If all you need to do is find the key left, then you'll be fine.
And please be perseverant or something.
Or something.
No, I just, okay, it started
Be
out good.
spiteful.
I wasn't sure to put Percy either. I was just gonna like after a moment of silence just be like Percy and move on. So you at least tried. Kudos for that. Oh, that's actually
Perceptible.
Or something.
perceive. Yeah, perceive. Okay.
We're
Anyway,
not going to Julian this again.
moving on.
Okay. Does any of this ring a bell for Shadow?
No, it wouldn't ring any bells for you from what you're asking.
Well, I mean, this is the part that gets me, Altari. We saw the fox. He denies having anything to do with the fox. But either he or someone working for him put this note in that box specifically for us to find it. And if it's him and he's freaking hiding shit from us, even though I asked him about it, I'm not going to be a very happy little moo-moo.
I mean, everyone's entitled to their secrets, but when I spoke to him, he did mention following the crows and forging your fates. I don't know if that has anything to do with the notes or if his words are just happy little coincidences. But
These
it looks
people are
like we're playing a game
games.
here.
Yeah, but these people are playing games and innocent people are dying for it. And they are pulling us into it.
Yeah, well, we're playing this game whether we want to or not. The thing is now, do we move on to the next place? Do we want to stay here and find answers? Do we want to go to the next place? I'm pretty sure there's going to be secrets all over the place.
Just more things we need to look out for. I mean, it's we're looking for foxes, we're looking for blonde girls, we're looking now for black birds that could potentially be made of iron or steel. It's getting a lot to look out for, and it's a big city.
I think a lot of these could also just be aliases.
That the foxes represent somebody where the black birds represent another party.
It's possible.
Forge in flame. Do you think they? Maybe
A
a
I mean,
smithy,
dwarves
maybe?
dwarves are known for forging.
One
I
of
mean-
the inns had something to do with dwarves. The Brass
Yeah.
Bellows, I believe it was.
Correct.
Run by a dwarven family.
I mean, but do elves and dwarves really have a history of working well together? Not from
I mean,
what
I don't
I've
know
seen.
about the elves in this plane, but the elves from didn't seem to have much issue. Not that there were many dwarves that passed through the Vale, but there weren't really many dwarves in the Feywild anyway, so...
We also still need to find the Thieves Guild.
Yes.
Maybe they can help us with the puzzle?
It's
Or the
possible.
riddle?
I still think that this little talisman, well, we could use it when we pay. If we go and get a drink somewhere and see if that sparks any interest.
We didn't brandish the talisman when we went here, though.
Mm-mm.
But who's supposed to find us with that talisman?
Well, the talisman, Marisi told us to brandish it at a tavern, and this doesn't feel very taverny to me.
Who's this person you speak of?
I'm sorry, Marisi. She was one of the lead scholars back in Vanderlyn. Her father was part of the Thieves Guild. She says she doesn't work with them directly, but she was the one who gave us this talisman and instructions on how to find the Thieves Guild and how to use it. I'm just going off of the information she's given us.
We're looking for the Thieves Guild. Why? Is that another deal you guys made somewhere along the line?
Probably.
This sounds familiar. It was just another avenue of aid we could possibly pursue. I think the Thieves Guild would have a lot of secrets, and those secrets could be possible answers to a lot of the puzzles we're looking to solve. I don't think that we're looking for 5 things. I think that all the things that we're entwined in link up to each other in some way. We just don't have enough pieces of the puzzle to properly glean a full picture.
Well, if we're speaking about guilds, there might even be a branch or two from different adventuring guilds in Italy. This is a big city. And I have influence with a few of them across Nocturne, so It's worth a shot if we come across one to pop in. See if they are able to assist us in any way.
Do you know of
but
any here in Elunéth?
Well, I've never been here, so we'll have to look around.
Okay.
But I think from what we've learned so far, I am guessing that the Brass Bellows is our next best stop.
I mean, we still have some time. It's still quite bright outside, and maybe they have something, another piece to the puzzle. It's proving to be a large puzzle, but
I think we should also definitely get to the Gilded Lantern. There is a, we do we know all the notes that we were given about these places?
Oh, they're written on the pamphlet.
Oh, so it's written on a pamphlet owned by a retired adventurer who really likes to swap stories. Cool. We need to go there. So yeah, that the Gilded Lantern could also be potentially English. Could also potentially be a good spot.
Okay, so here's a proposition then. Brass Bellows, check out the Dwarven family with the stout, have a drink perhaps, and then head off to the Gilded Lantern and exchange some stories. Worst case scenario, if we exchange stories, we could just pass it off as drunken adventurous stories from people who've had a bit too much to drink.
That's not worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is swapping stories ends up taking the rest of the afternoon and the evening, and tomorrow another body drops and we are nowhere any closer to finding whoever it is we need to find.
Well, we're no closer to finding whoever we're supposed to find here arguing about it either. So I'm not proposing that we go and get drunk and then exchange stories into the night. I'm proposing we go and acquire information over a drink and then exchange stories at the next place while doing our scouting for wherever we want to spend the evening, and keeping our ears and eyes open for any more pieces to this ever-growing puzzle.
Plan sounds good. Plan is solid.
And like you said, it's a big city. We don't know if a body is going to drop anywhere within our vicinity or possibly even on the other side of the city. Whether we're there or not, we still might not be able to stop it. The best thing we can do right now is to just continue on our path and keep trying to figure things out. As much as we want to save lives, it's not possible to save everyone. But we do the best that we can anyways.
Right. Also, keep in mind we need to go collect our invitations later tonight. So that needs to get ticked off. And well, I guess let's figure out a way to get to the Brass Bellows, and I take out the little thingy that I just had his freaking name. Not the Tufts, man. You're on the wrong week's notes. That Thalor gave me.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for a route to get to the Brass Bellows.
Well, you're a navigator.
We're going that way.
Sure.
That's there. So yeah.
Yeah, it's about a 10-minute walk from where you currently are.
Is everyone else cool with the plan?
I'm good.
Okay.
Why is Moon white though?
Moon has always been this color. Your eyes are just clean now. That's why it looks different.
Your eyes are clean.
Okay. Are you sure you didn't have any of the bubbles?
They were bubbles.
In the drink. Never mind. Let's just keep moving, walking and talking, looking for got foxes looking for. Dasan specifically looking for any birds made of metal, and blonde girls following us.
Give
At the
me
end of the strip, we'll have a whole zoo.
give me an intelligence check, son.
Why are you calling me stupid?
That
'Cause
depends
that's
on your roll.
8.
Well, then yes, I am. Okay, cool. Then we move on. Then there's no clickety clicks for you. Not yet, at
Clickety
least.
clicks.
Yeah, putting 2 and 2 together. He's got 2 pieces of a puzzle that, if he rolled high enough, I would have alluded to a little bit more, but not with an 8.
Ah! Are there any birds in the sky, like flying around?
You see a few, but I mean more just the general birds that fly around. Nothing that seems to
Pigeons
be.
and seagulls.
Yeah. Pigeons, seagulls, and then some things that are flying way high up that you can kind of just see the silhouettes of, but nothing. And by silhouettes, I mean like
Dragons.
the little black blob that is now just there's a bird up there, but nothing
Oh, cool.
that catches your eye of importance or whatever the case may be.
Are there any
Alrighty then.
metal statues around the city?
Are there any?
Metal statues around the city.
Not where you currently are.
Oh, that's
I think while
something
we're walking,
we need to look into.
sorry.
Well,
I think while we're walking, I also want to keep an eye out for any more fox carvings.
Sure.
Not actively looking, but just like staying perceptive,
Mhm.
because now I'm aware of them. So
Alright.
vexing not having all the pieces of the puzzle. Ah!
10
Be
minutes.
Yes, sitting
slackbird
there with the
forced in flame. Be the slackbird forced in flame. You see, we're not getting anywhere with this. Oh, no.
10 minutes later, you arrive at the inn. That's name has literally the Brass Bellows. Jeez, that has completely slipped my mind. But you arrive at the Brass Bellows, and you see sitting on you see sitting on like the little mailbox thing that they have outside, a very familiar looking cat. There's a cat sitting with a little envelope in its mouth. Not little, it's a regular sized envelope, but the kitty is sitting on the mailbox with the envelope, kind of just like, and you just see the 2 little toofs on the front of the envelope.
Well, if no one else is doing it, I'm walking over and I'll take the envelope and I'm gonna rub over her head onto her back, and all I'm gonna softly says "Princess," and take the letter.
Vanilla.
You hear the cat purr, and like under its purr, I figured I'd save you the trouble. Besides, I needed to get out planning, and everything going on for the festivities was a bit much. But suppose if we need to keep this charade up, I can't stay for long. So I'll stick around for a few more minutes. You go and do whatever it is you're doing here, and I will go back.
Well, I don't want the world to think I'm crazy standing here talking to a cat. But
Now, as you say that, she
You
just like
wouldn't-
leaps up onto your shoulder. There we go. It makes it just a bit better.
that does make it a lot easier. Are there any places in the city with big metal birds? I'm thinking statues or something like that.
Not that I can think of. No, there's no big metal bird statues. Why would no? Why?
I'll walk over as well. What about any names, Blackbird? Do you know of anyone who might go by that name? Perhaps a smith or someone.
Because you specifically said Smith, you see, as you say Smith, she like cocks in. I don't know any blackbirds, but there is a smithy name, or that I can't remember the gentleman's name, but I know the smithy itself is Crowsmith.
Close enough.
I don't know if that has any relation to what you're looking for, but the only thing I can think of.
Very helpful.
How do we get to Crowsmith?
Second tier of the city. You go inside and ask the proprietors of the inn. I'm sure they'll give you one of those touristy brochure things. I'm sure it'll be listed in there. It's one of the bigger ones in the city.
One of these little brochure things? I'm sure the one we got from...
Yes, exactly one of those.
And Crowsmith is on there?
It is the 6th item on the places to see.
Oh, on that one, not on the previous one you gave us.
No, on the one that you got from Thalor.
Got it. Okay.
On
I'm
there,
still running off the old list.
It is the 6th item on that list. The 6th name.
And she
item.
said there's an inn nearby there. Oh, no, never mind. Never mind. Scratch that. So I'll turn to Altari and be like, do you think we still need to go from inn to inn then? If the note clearly said that's where step 2 is.
It could be a lead. It depends on what you guys want to do. I mean, Thalor was speaking about follow the crows, or forge your destiny as the crow flies.
Sorry, not to interrupt, but I don't want this to be suspicious. And she turns and she like jumps off of Dasan's shoulder onto his horsey back, walks across his back, jumps onto Visilva's shoulder. Just to keep in character, I'm going to just hiss at Moon. Please make sure he doesn't kill me. She hops down and walks up, very catty.
Would never.
Looks at her and she looks at Moon and just this arches her back hair, stands up, hisses, and then plobs off.
I feel like Moon's just gonna look very confused, do that doggy tilt the face to the side.
Oh, I love it. Okay, sorry.
It might be wolf in shape, but he's golden retriever personality.
You can continue with your... Sorry, I just wanted her to leave before she started drawing suspicion.
Good. So, I guess we need to decide what are we trying to achieve today. Follow the clues, which I'm really starting to... You know what? I don't think. I believe these notes are specifically left for us, which I find strange. Don't know what y'all are into, but I find this strange. So we can possibly do 3 things at once following these notes. Seeing how sketchy things are in the city already, Thieves Guild might end up on the list. Stop the murders, part of the list. And meeting Cole, part on the list.
I think
I'm just saying,
the
follow
Thieves
the
Guild
clues.
isn't. I don't think the Thieves Guild is the most important thing. It's more something I've wanted to do passively. Just whatever leads us further first. Whatever clues we have, whatever we can follow first, I think we should just follow. So I don't know. I have a feeling about this Crowsmith. Perhaps he has information that he would share with us willingly or not.
I agree.
Was-
That's kind of why
Yeah.
I think we should, instead of going in, let's just head straight there.
And we have the advantage of being new to town as well, because we are exploring. We are basically tourists, and whatever questions people ask, we can just fob off as us finding our way around the city. And going to a smith as adventurers who often require the services of a smith shouldn't be that conspicuous to anybody. So I think we go to the smith, head to the second tier of the city, and then Visilva can get some top-notch pet food for Moon while we're at it.
All right, let me just look at our map, plot a course. So we need to go over here, turn left there, go there. And guys, while you're at it, just keep an eye out for blonde girls following us.
Does that include if they're in cat form?
No, any that could possibly fit the description of the killer that was described to us. I still want to know where the unicorn came in.
And maybe somewhere along our travels we'll figure out how the hell to contact the Markovians as well.
Do you think they'd own unicorns? Walking and talking, by the way.
I cannot promise that. But it wouldn't surprise me.
So, the Markovians are vampires?
Yes. And they want the Van Haven songs dead as well.
And what's the story with the Van Haven songs?
They are vampire hunters and they want the Markovians dead. But these two families can't kill each other because a very long time ago they signed a peace treaty preventing them from actively and directly killing each other.
It sounds to me like I need to have a chat with these Van Haven songs.
Both of which seem to have information into Shadow's ship, conveniently.
Well, they both sound like families with a lot of resources behind them.
Yes, and then there's the issue of I signed a binding contract preventing me from harming any of the Markovian family.
Well, you don't know me, so there's no mention of me in there. And I wouldn't mind hurting a vampire or two.
The other thing worth mentioning, Dasan, is that very dapper gentleman that spoke to us at the bathhouse, Wax, I think his name was, is part of the Van Haven songs. He wears the same symbol. I don't know if you noticed the pendant chain around his neck, but that same symbol from Shadow's note, that is the mark of the Van Haven song family.
I see. Yeah, I noticed it. I just didn't know the meaning behind it.
They were on the airship as well when we were traveling from Vanderland to here. We didn't engage with them, but we did notice two fellows on the ship, also with trench coats and also with the same symbol. So they seem to be getting around, and they also seem to be quite bold in pursuing their own interests, in this case, Shadow, and by extension, the rest of us.
Yeah, I found it intriguing that he said he doesn't know about me, which makes sense where we found each other. But it does sound like they've been watching you guys. So I'm also now looking for guys in trench coats.
Sensory overload.
It's getting a bit much now. But hey, I'm perceptive. I look at things.
And we're not exactly the most inconspicuous bunch either.
Yeah, it's not every day you see a crowd running through the city with a dopey doggo and a zombie and a llama.
And
That is why we
I'm
are going.
completely leaving myself out of that weirdness.
Shadow?
That's why we're playing the role of tourist.
Yes. Which I think is a perfectly reasonable role to play. Because we stand out, we blend in plain sight.
But
Exactly.
Shadow, what was this whole deal you made with the Markovians?
Basically the same killing contract, take out the Van Haven songs and then get more information about my ship. But if I am remembering things correctly, they still owe me a little bit more information now that we are here. So we need to get in touch with them as soon as possible.
But then if
Did
I
they say they
understand
would
this
find
correctly...
you?
Possible. I can't recall that well.
But then if I understand this correctly, both of these families offered you the exact same deal. So you are in the perfect position to play them off of each other
And
for
yet
more
I am
information.
perfect a scapegoat as well.
Well, if
Shadow's
you...
the key for breaking the treaty. Both seem to claim that they have access to her ship. Both don't seem to have the same amount of evidence backing their claim. At this point, it's too early to tell who really has the true information. All they really care about at this point is they want something done, and they'll say whatever needs to be said to get their ways done, I suppose. So, puts us in a bit of a precarious situation. At least until we have more information, that is.
I think what we should do, instead of running around a big city like footless chickens, we next time we see the princess, if the Markovian family is a family that holds sway over areas and has influence, she'll definitely know where we can find them. And I myself would like to maybe have a little bit more of a chat with the Van Havensong family. Sounds like they might be the kind of people that have worked for my line of work.
A lot of these directions are leading us to the Underdark, though. I mean, the princess has connections to the Underdark, and so does Wax. So I'm assuming that we will most likely end up in the Underdark at some point or other. I think maybe there's a lot of secrets and shadows that hide there.
And that's why we need to put on our list as top priorities to start making friends with the Thieves Guild, because they must roam in those areas and have a wide network.
Absolutely. Which is why we have so many things on our list to do, and why everything is so convolutedly connected.
We'll follow the clues first, and then we will roam around and play footsie with a coin to get the Thieves Guild's attention.
Perhaps we should pass the coin around. Whoever does the talking, whoever does payments. Shadow, perhaps you should hang on to it. I'll just pull it out and hold it in my palm.
I might...
Sorry, is it a coin, or is there a possibility that Shadow can attach it to her clothing or her hair?
It's more coin.
I think it's like a medallion.
Yeah, it's medallion, so more coin than brooch or pendant.
Okay,
Well,
she'll just put it in a pouch.
the alleyway... What's his name? Well, the alleyway the drow guy was murdered gave off very thievy vibes. So it could be worthwhile to go and check there again. But yeah, they didn't. I mean, thieves aren't. They know not to trust strangers. So unless any of you are, I don't know, naturally good at talking your way into sketchy places, and I'm looking at Shadow, I'm not the right person for that kind of job.
Well, it used to be my old crowd. Hopefully I'm not too rusty.
So how about this? We divide our day to following these clues, and at what point do we say enough of this? On to the Thieves Guild thing.
I think we should end our day with the fox and the fig. I think it's an obvious clue in the name itself. And whatever we do before then, we follow the clues and then head off to the fox and fig to end our day.
And then we'll look for the Thieves Guild tomorrow.
Perhaps we even come across the Thieves Guild before that.
I'm hoping that happens. That somehow us following these clues leads us walking nose first into the Thieves Guild. They have it. Look, nothing in a place like this goes on underneath without the Thieves Guilds being involved in one way or another.
Not every city has them, so
Yes.
it's just a matter of finding them, or they find us. Regardless, we get what we want.
Yes.
So,
I wonder how far we are from this place. There was a lot of stairs.
would it be possible to collect the invitations to this banquet from the cathedral while on our way to the smith?
We got them already from the cat.
Yeah.
Oh, did
Cat-
we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got the envelope. No one's done anything with it, but yes.
Oh,
Oh, I didn't realize that was the invitations. I thought that was just a random message that no one really looked into.
I
Oh, I
think
mean-
DM just told us all we know is it's an envelope.
But she
Well,
did
now
say
I seem to think it's more.
She did say I'll save you the trouble.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of like,
Okay.
just holding on to it. And I am
I don't know
thoroughly
that.
going to assume it's our invitations until someone points out that it maybe isn't.
Well, have you checked? Have you opened the envelope? It could just be another threatening note.
No, I don't think. Well, then again, I do think that.
Oh, just give it here, damn it. It's not a bomb.
Okay. Patience much. And I hand it to Shadows. Like, careful, it might be poisoned.
And she opens the envelope. If it's poisoned, so be it.
You open the envelope, and it will be in the chat in our WhatsApp, but it will say Altari, Dasan, Shadow, and Visilva. You are cordially invited to the celebration of the safe return of Princess Shalray. Please join the royal Zareth family, at the palace for a night of wonder and festivities. The festivities will take place on the winter solstice starting at 2100. Food and drink will be supplied. Dress code, high dark academia, no pets. Present this at the door as proof of invitation. And you see a small little green spider sitting in some webs, kind of burnt into the page in a almost faded emerald green.
There you go. It's invitations. And with the dress code, Visilva, darling, I'm sorry, you're going to have to leave your pets at home for this.
Guys, I kind of don't have high dark academia clothing. This is me.
None of us do, so we also have to do some shopping.
And they gave us a time. They didn't say when.
Yes, they did.
Winter solstice.
Winter solstice.
And what solstice is it now?
Well, we recently
it.
passed the summer solstice.
Where? I didn't see it.
Where Stash lives. I don't know about this world.
Okay. This day just keeps on getting weirder.
DM,
Yes.
would we know when the winter solstice is?
Everyone can give me a. Actually, yes, you would. Fuck that. This isn't something you'd have to check. You guys would know what fucking date it is. It is. It just opens the calendar. It is currently 1, 2. So today is the 26th of Diastellus. It is on the 1st of Omniscentia, which is 3 days away.
Okay.
How awkward would it be if Quiet Visilva just pops up? It's in 3 days, you idiots! Have we?
Okay,
have
so
we?
we have time to go shopping for attire, appropriate attire, and we have time to also go and explore our puzzles.
It's a bit blurry, but you'll see where you currently are is a highlighted one, and then on the 1st is the winter solstice. I don't know why the image quality went to absolute shit.
Have we by now reached the smith?
As you have been walking and talking, making your way up one of the large flight of stairs taking you up to the second tier of the city, seeing now the second tier of the city, a much cleaner tier than the one below. Again, not that the one below was dirty, but there's no soot stains on these buildings. These buildings are all made out of the same white marble that you could see some of them being down below. Most of the buildings have gold trimmings along the edges, and you see the people walking around here seem to be dressed a little bit smarter, not necessarily ultra fancy, super posh, but just you can tell it's a different class of city. You do see a lot of people from the lower city still walking around here. There's no classes and there's no divide, but there is a divide, but there's not a divide, if you know what I'm saying. As you continue making your way, you see a few people moving these incredibly large fir trees, as they seem to be setting up something. Oh no, fuck that. You guys live in this plane. Well, maybe Altari wouldn't know this much, but those of you who have grown up on this plane, so yeah, maybe not Visilva either, but those of you who have grown up on this plane, being Dasan and Shadow, you would know these fir trees usually are put up around a month or two, depending on where you are, before Yule Ishtar.
Yeah.
And yeah, after about, I'd say, 30 to 40 minutes walk in total since you left. You will make your way down the path that leads you to where Crowsmith is, supposedly. I say supposedly just because you don't know whether it's there yet. And as you kind of round that final corner, you have by now already seen the large black pillar of smoke escaping from the building. You round the corner and you see a large open fire outside. You see a kiln. You see multiple different workstations, all with their anvils. You see lots of different people working, humans, elves, drows, all just there hard at work. The sounds of clanking metal, the smell of burning, nothing in particular, just that smell of hot burning kind of starts hitting you. And above the door, carved into the white stone, is the name Crowsmith. And Altari and Dasan, with your passive perceptions, will once again see that inside of the little dot of the eye, a little fox head is carved. And that is where tonight's session will come to an end for our players. As we cut back to Sage and Cinders, our elderly elven innkeeper Thalor,
No,
presuming
don't kill him.
continuing whatever his work, when he hears the door open and he turns to see who is entering. Oh, one of you have been here already, but I'll leave. He walks to exit his little workstation, and with a swift movement, the hooded figure that has entered presses a hand against the door, kind of slamming it a little bit. Othello looks up at this figure. I don't understand what the problem is. I've done what needs to be done. When you show up, I step out. I'm not. And he kind of starts sputtering a little bit as his eyes widen. He looks down and he sees a hand pressed against his lower abdomen. He finally feels the sharp steel, the cold inside of him. He watches as his blood starts covering the gloved hand. It gives a little twist and kind of pulls it up a bit before just releasing the blade, leaving it stuck in Thalor. The blood circling around the indents of the unicorn handle. The figure pushes Thalor down to the ground, stands and watches as the old man fades, and just before stepping out, pulls out a little piece of parchment, kind of just flicks it onto his body, steps backwards, stops at the door before closing the door behind her and leaving. And that is where tonight's session will end. So thank you to everyone who has joined us here tonight, and we look forward to having you here next week. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget we stream on Twitch Live on Tuesdays at 7:30. There's a 2-week break coming up, but we'll talk about that next week. And if you're here on Twitch and you've missed something, go watch it on YouTube. If you missed the VOD, if you've missed anything, all of our previous episodes are up. Well, at least the ones from this arc. Go watch it on YouTube. It's RollWithoutTrace there. And again, a big thank you to everyone who has made this channel incredibly amazing. Links to all of our artists and musicians that have helped to make the channel what it is down in the doobly-doo below. And of course, the two biggest thank yous, of course, to everyone who is watching and to my players. Without them, we wouldn't be having this game. So thank you to all of you. And I wish you all a wonderful week. And until next week, don't forget to claim the stars. Good night, everybody.